Like you won't be able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that part was confusing. I think we have a
I
caller
think
here.
we have a caller. Okay.
Hey.
Hello, is this Mr. Zach Gaynor calling?
Hello!
What's up, Zach? How you doing, man?
Yay!
Hey, Zach.
It's going fantastic. How are things with you guys?
We are doing amazing. Been a couple years since we talked, actually.
Yep. How is everybody? Can we catch up on the last 3 years or so? Just in the next 2 minutes.
I would love to catch up with you, Zach. First of all, thank you for asking me if I was safe.
Oh, Marie's so dumb.
Aww.
Yeah. You thought you were we're not a takedown show. We're not going to do anything. And I was like, are you okay with the hurricane? And you're like, you can swear. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, we are a takedown show. I heard you shit your pants in front of Dr. Phil once. Is that true, sir?
That is true.
Oh, okay.
It actually wound up being one of my proudest moments.
Hey!
Okay, well, for quick catch-ups, the last time you talked with us, you were promoting your book, If at Birth You Don't Succeed, and I was marveling at the fact that one of the chapters in your book is dedicated solely to the Olive Garden. And I might have...
Yeah, and then you hooked me up.
That's right. So I put in a good word with a friend of a friend and got you one of those never-ending pasta passes right after that. So I want to hear how you used it.
Okay, so I went to Olive Garden 3 times a day for 9 weeks. And it came at the perfect time because I not only did my electric wheelchair break and the Olive Garden was right across the street from me, but also I had no social media at the time because my phone was lost in Nicaragua.
Oh my God.
And so
wait. Did you
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Did you go to Nicaragua or just your phone?
In Nicaragua.
I don't know. Ask American Airlines, man. I was there working with a charity called UCP Wheels for Humanity that gets wheelchairs to kids in remote areas that wouldn't otherwise have access to them, and it allows them to go to school and be a part of society and stuff. And fucking American Airlines lost my phone. I felt really great about the trip. I'm helping out kids, and then I just completely regretted it because I lost my phone. So, it was mostly a positive experience.
Mostly, except for the phone thing.
So anyway, lost my phone in Nicaragua, was hanging wanting to get my phone back. I was like, it'll surely be just around the corner. And it took them 7 weeks to not get my phone back. And I was like, maybe this is a sign that I need to disconnect. And then the pasta pass came in. So my entire social circle was the servers at the Olive Garden across the street from my apartment in Austin. And I made some really, really good friends there. They say that Olive Garden is family, and I don't know if the servers would actually agree, but I definitely did.
So basically what you're saying is that Marie was able to get you through the loss of your phone.
Through the loss of my phone and my main wheelchair. So it was like, if you hadn't sent that pasta pass, I would have been, I almost said, crippled with depression, but I was crippled anyway. It was all fine. It all worked out. And it was the most glorious time I've ever had in my life. And I think back on that, I am going to have to say to a child one day that their birth was not the most important part of my life, that it was in fact when I got the never-ending pasta pass for Olive Garden. To have to look him in the face and be like, you're not as important.
Well, I mean, if they're looking for a spokesperson, I think we know exactly who we need to send them.
Yeah, Zach, you need to put that in your own YouTube channel and send it as like a tweet back to Olive Garden. I don't know why they didn't give you one every year, but I have a feeling it's because they don't know that story. I know that they gave one to a guy this year who built an Olive Garden in Minecraft.
Why? Does it have breadsticks?
I love Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, congratulations, but honestly, I don't feel like anyone's love goes deeper than
Then
mine.
not you.
So, I mean, great for that dude, but also, what the fuck? No, great for him. I'm very happy for him.
Did you gain any weight eating at Olive Garden 3 times a day for 9 weeks?
You know, I did. I think I did, because that was another thing, because I wasn't eating a lot at the time, and people were like worried about me because I always forget to eat. Right, that's like that's a problem I have. But so this is the one time in my life where I was actually like able to maintain an adult weight, and I felt I was very happy with myself. But I can tell you, you might be wondering what did it feel like to eat nothing but Olive Garden 3 times a day? And I can say, honestly, it's great. It's recommended for everyone.
Right, so it's going to be great. So in 9 weeks, did you only poop like 3 times?
Oh, no, man. All right, okay. No, I was. If we really want to get into it,
of course.
Like, and
this is our forte. We love talking about shit.
This is great. Okay, so I was very, it was very routine, very scheduled, and also my one other passion in life is bidet toilet seats. So I have one of those fancy, like, heated toilet seats that sprays the for you.
Which brand do you have? Mine is Tushy. Which one do you have?
What?
Okay, I have the Bio Bidet BB1000 Supreme.
First off, hold on. That sounds like a RoboCop bad guy.
It is. It's great. It's fantastic. It's like, honestly, it's taken the joy out of like staying at really fancy hotels for me, because none of them have bidets in this country, and it's like I'd rather just be pooping at home.
Listen, man, I'm with you. I too suffer from IBS really bad. I know what it's like because I panic. If I'm in a public place, I start doing the math and going, how bad's this toilet going to be? Can I put up with this? Am I going to be able to sit comfortably? Trust me, I get that. That part in your book, I really absolutely relate to it. I know that feeling. I also know the feeling of shitting your pants in public. I've also done that.
When was the most recent time that you've done that?
It was it's been a while. I would say it's probably been like 3 or 4 years, and it was like on the turnpike. There was no bathrooms, and I gambled and lost.
On the turnpike. So you were in like in the car at the time?
I know what you're thinking. It was a renter car, so don't worry. It wasn't mine.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Thank God. And
Thank God that we can. Yeah. Now it's Hertz's problem, right?
Yeah, that's their issue. It came with a big brown stain on the seat. What do you want from me? But by the way, speaking of the turnpike, you worked at Epcot for a while?
What?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I loved that. Yeah.
What were you doing when you were there? I
worked there. I was the worst employee there. I was terrible.
What did you do?
Like, seriously, I was what's known as a park greeter. So basically, I would welcome people in the morning, and then if I was doing the night shift, I would watch the fireworks from designated areas, and then go around the whole park at the end of the night and tell people to get the hell out and have a magical day. Like, that was it.
Hold on. What was the phrase?
That job.
Zach, what was the phrase you would say as you're wheeling around? Would you say, hey, what would you actually say?
Well, I think we would just tell people, like the park is closing, and then we would say, well, we're happy to walk you to the front of the park. Because really, in Epcot, the problem was all those restaurants in the World Showcase, all the countries are like open later, and then you would get these people that would be in there like past midnight just drinking, and so you'd have to go around and like get the stragglers. And so it was kind of cool because you'd have like Disney World all to yourself.
Did you ever drink around the world in Epcot like everybody does? Because we live in Orlando, so we know people just go to Epcot to drink all day.
I mean, yeah, but like beer is like $8. So
Yeah.
I mean, like
That's a good point.
I've
people
never
are excited until they realize how expensive it is.
I've never successfully drank around the world for that very reason. I'm usually sobering up around Japan and then realizing my bank account has been drained and I give up. So, not for lack of trying.
Now, Disney World closed yesterday because of the hurricane. Right?
Oh,
correct,
you guys
sir.
didn't actually get anything.
Well, that's not true. Here's the thing.
Okay.
This is the funny thing about Disney World. This is the best part. They've actually stayed open until 2 p.m., right? So you could still actually, and they didn't give you a discount price, by the way. You still paid full
What
price.
a bunch of assholes!
I know. So you would still have to go to Disney, and they closed at 2 p.m. because they will not lose money. Even if they were like, well, we'll open till like 3 just to be safe.
And by the way, we got light rain and light wind.
Nothing happened here.
Nothing happened, which is why I thought it was so weird if you were asking me if I was safe, because I was like, yeah, nothing happened.
And also, we're Floridians. We just we don't believe in hurricanes.
When I worked there, that was that year where you guys had like 5 hurricanes.
You were
There
there.
was, like Charlie.
Yeah, you were there for that
Ivan,
year?
And yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And like that, and Disney actually had to close down for like several days, and I was living on the property for the people in the college program, and I just remember them like throwing all of the deck chairs into the pool so they didn't blow away.
Yeah, you were.
No.
Yeah, okay. So you. I know exactly where
Is
you
that
were.
protocol on a hurricane?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
Joel, it is.
I've never heard of that.
So
Sorry, I live in Colorado, Zach. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So you were living in that gulag. That I know exactly what it is because I'm a
Yeah.
local. You were living in that gulag where they send the
Yeah.
Disney employees,
Yeah.
where they tell you can't come in past a certain time.
Yeah. I was living at a place called Vista Way, which
Yep.
is just off the property of Disney. And I remember, like, I was 20 years old, and like, it was much better if you were 21 because then you could like drink and have fun and stuff. But like, as a 20-year-old, if you were caught like drinking, you would immediately be sent home, like wherever
Yep.
home was.
Yep.
And so I didn't want to go back to Buffalo.
Hey,
in the winter.
enough
So-
said. Enough said. I wouldn't want to go back to Buffalo either.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty nice in the summer, but if you, like, we have like an 8-month long winter, so I was just like, I did not want to go back.
Yeah, I
so-
know. Good.
No, go ahead.
No, you sir. I was going to say Vista Way. I know what you're talking about because it's this little neighborhood that looks nicer on the outside, but they had all these guards, and the bus, like the Disney bus, would pick you up, but Disney wouldn't even use their own bus. They would like rent it out to another bus that was never on time. And I remember all the Disney employees complaining, going, "They have us living in this gulag. They take money out of our check to pay for our own rent, and you have to ride a bus because all the World Showcase people in Epcot are from the countries that they live in. So they have these exchange programs where they send them over, and they would just complain. They go, I'd rather go back to Japan."
Did they make you stay in America Town since you're American?
I just cuddled up with one of the presidents at night, and then I just hung out in there.
Aw.
All the presidents.
Zach is sleeping next to Abraham
Me
Lincoln.
and Taft together.
Just you know what? There's actually a life hack. You want to sleep on James Garfield because he's bigger and more comfortable.
Oh yeah,
And that's presidential humor, which I'm good at.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
I love
I thought that Taft was one of the bigger ones. That's what I was going for, but I guess Garfield makes sense.
The cat, because they named the cat after him, and he was lazy and hated Mondays.
No. So right before you
Bugs,
called
lasagna, all that stuff.
He's, you know what? Maybe he will on a pasta pass.
So
Yes, Marie.
right before you called in, Zach, because you were asking about catching up, Royce and I were telling the story. We just came back from Vancouver. And the last thing that I will say about our Canada trip was I was annoying my family in that everywhere we went, I kept saying, Epcot really nailed the Canada Pavilion. Because it's just like that. We didn't have to go to Canada at all.
We could have gone to Epcot. It would have been way easier.
So I don't know if you've been to another country or if you feel the same way about
you lost
Epcot.
his phone in Nicaragua.
Well, Nicaragua doesn't have a pavilion.
I mean,
Yet.
I've been to Canada a lot because Buffalo is basically Canada. But, yeah, they do kind of nail it, except the only difference is in Disney, for some reason, when I was there, they had guys performing music in kilts in Canada.
Yes. It's still there.
Which is not... I don't know what disparate thing happened there, but...
So Zach,
that's not how it is.
That's so funny that you say that because when we went to Vancouver. It's probably different than Toronto. We actually saw an authentic kilt store, and we thought that was very out of place. But then realized British Columbia probably does have a market for that.
Now you're probably thinking, how many kilts did we buy? 20 of them.
What?
When in Rome.
You know, I've been wanting to get either a kilt or a dress. I'm completely sold. Everyone's been saying they're so comfortable. And I don't think you're really required to wear underwear underneath them.
You aren't.
I don't believe
so.
so.
I just no.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point. I wanted to ask you a question about the latest fashion wear that you were wearing in your Workout Wednesday video, where you had a leotard on and some rainbow sweatbands. Why did you pick a leotard?
Yeah. I just wanted to showcase everything I've got going on, and that was the most form-fitting thing I could find.
Now, speaking of that, that's how we found you was through your Workout Wednesday stuff. I saw you'd been you took a break for a while, and now it seems like you're getting back into them.
Okay, so here's what's happened with me the past 3 years. So I've been touring a lot, doing like speaking gigs and stuff, which I love. And also, I was writing for a television show called Speechless on ABC.
Oh, okay.
So, in terms of like the YouTube stuff, that slowed down a lot because the writing days for a network TV show are like 12 to 14 hours, and so there just wasn't a whole lot of time. And
I have a question.
Meanwhile, I was like touring and all this sort of stuff. So.
I have a question about that because, like, with Speechless, that show is very much, involved in your, I don't want to say disability situation. My younger brother has a cerebral palsy, and so I'm a huge fan of Speechless because of the whole. Did they bring you on as like a comedy writer, or did they bring you on as like a, hey, we got to bring somebody who has cerebral palsy on?
Well, I think here's how this sort of happened. The creator of Speechless, Scott Silveri, if you don't know Speechless, it's a show about a special needs family, and the teenage son has CP and is nonverbal. But the creator of Speechless was familiar with me and had watched all the way back to my Oprah show and was familiar with my comedy, and they were looking for somebody with a comedy background who also could lend some authenticity to the disability experience.
Right.
That was a show that I perfectly fit the bill for. And so I think it was, a little bit of both, and there was definitely a learning curve for me in terms of like writing network TV, but like I was so lucky to have a mentor that was like ready to any gaps in knowledge that I was like missing. He was ready to jump in and shepherd those things.
Did you meet any of the cast?
Oh yeah. Because you go to the table reads, and then when a script is yours, when you're the credited writer on a script, you shadow on set to make sure that the actors are doing what you intended. So you get some good face time with the actors and stuff.
Okay, well, were you like one of the final say as far as what actually got out on air?
Oh no, I was
Just a contributing writer.
I was definitely a lower level writer who
Okay.
had real life experience that, like, if there were disability things that I was like, oh, this isn't going to be quite right, or this is this could be problematic and things. Everybody had a voice in the thing that people don't understand about like writing TV is that everybody writes every episode to some extent. So it's like all of us sitting together in a room and coming up with the ideas and pitching on the jokes, and then there are like writers who go off and do drafts and stuff if it's your episode, but it's not just down to whose name is on the page. It's like it's a very collaborative thing.
Okay.
Have you gotten any perks for writing, like a SAG card or into any?
I'm in SAG, baby. I'm in SAG. I'm in
God
the WGA.
damn it!
Yeah.
I got all. No, you know what the one perk of all those things is that you get sent the screeners for the movies early, so you don't have to go out to the movies.
Oh, that's
to see
awesome!
anything because they send you all the stuff.
Every movie?
Yeah, a bunch of them. They get them early.
Every movie that's like potentially going to be up for any sort of award, they tend to send you.
That's correct.
Now, Speechless had Speechless had 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, we had 3 seasons, and then we were canceled.
Aww.
So 3 seasons, and hey man, we ended it well. It's not one of those shows that is like it has some cliffhanger, terrible ending, and you're like, when's this show coming back? We kind of knew that we might not be coming back, so it's probably like one of the better series finales I've seen.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not like Quantum Leap where you never see Scott Bakula leap home because they didn't know they were going to get canceled. He just kind of just leaps again, and you don't know where he went.
I don't know why that show isn't still on the air.
I'm with you, Scott Bakula, my hero. That show I used to love. I grew up on that show. I used to love Quantum Leap. Scott Bakula is one of the best Star Trek captains. I'll say it. People would.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Scott.
Yeah, he is.
Wait, are you talking about that show what was that? The Enterprise?
Enterprise.
What was even the name of that?
It was called the Enterprise. Yes.
Okay.
Look.
That was called
I
New
don't
Generation.
No, next
Generation.
New Generation.
know.
Shut up. Sorry.
I have no idea if Quantum Leap would hold up in today's society.
Well,
jumping into different types of bodies and things. But I'd love to watch it because I think it would be at least fun to see how far we've come.
Well, I'll tell you this, Zach, because I actually recently watched a couple episodes of Quantum Leap that I was just kind of riffing over. There is a couple episodes that absolutely would not be allowed today.
Very awkward.
Very, very. And this is on network television. There was the episode where he jumped into the kid with Down syndrome, where they kept calling him a retard the entire episode. So that wouldn't fly today.
That wouldn't work. Yeah.
And the one where the civil rights
No.
one, woof, the civil rights one, you would never be able to get away with it.
No, I think that's probably good that we grow as a culture.
Why are we throwing this at him?
Because he seems like a Quantum Leap fan.
Royce is just a big Quantum Leap fan. He's just
I was
testing the
gonna say,
water.
like, you're a lot more controversial.
I was pretty young when it was first on the air, but I remember older people watching it.
Yeah. So, are you gonna be working on any other shows? You got any coals in the fire, as they say?
So here's what we're doing now. So we are my producing partner and I, Jillian Grassi, are writing the TV adaptation of If at Birth You Don't Succeed.
What?
And
Oh, that's awesome.
Like that.
That's great.
That's been a blast. So like that's what we're hoping to do next. But like it's been a really wild ride to if you think reading about me shitting my pants is fun, imagine just seeing it for real up close
Now-
on TV. That's my sales pitch for the TV show.
Very excited, by the way, because
but-
that book is really good. Like I've read it a couple times. It's a very good book. If at Birth You Don't
I
Succeed.
really appreciate that, man. Do you have any books of yours that I should read?
No, I don't. I don't. You know what
He
I
wants
do?
to do you a
I
favor,
do.
Royce.
Actually, my pen name is George R.R. Martin. Have you heard of Game of Thrones?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty good. I didn't realize you had written those. I mean, I'll probably get it on Audible or something.
Yeah, I would. I would. You know, I would definitely.
Can I bring up
recommend it.
one thing real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so my
Sure.
younger brother Josiah, he also has CP, and he's a huge fan of you, and he probably is about the same level of you as far as that goes. One of the funniest guys I've ever met. He actually works in sports radio, and he had this award-winning speech that won state when he was a sophomore in high school. And one of the things that he talked
awesome.
about was what happens when somebody with cerebral palsy in a wheelchair, like things you don't recognize that happen. And the thing that he had the biggest issue was when people would touch his head. For some reason, people in wheelchairs, you would always have you get patted on your head. Did you have that? Or what
Yeah,
was the
I'm
thing
always treated like
that
a
bothered
dog.
you the most for being in a wheelchair?
I think that just the general patronizing, that getting petted is a big one. Like I did a PSA for the Cerebral Palsy Foundation where I talked about the 10 things I wish people knew about CP, and I think number 1 or 2 on the list was I'm not a dog. Like that's because
There you go.
and I think having a disability is a strange one because it's the only prejudice where people are trying to be nice to you. It's not based in fear. So like there's just a pity and a dismissal that comes with it. But I feel like having a disability has allowed me to speak about prejudice and sort of be like a funhouse mirror for people where I can talk about prejudice in a way that isn't going to make people turn away or be awkward. And I think like with disability, there's just such a tendency to assume that the people you're talking to are immature or infantile, and there's just a huge amount of dismissal that goes on with it. So I think that's the greater struggle. But nobody is crossing the street when they see me from prejudice. They're just like treating me like a child. So
Right.
in a way, that's a privilege to be able to still like talk about it and not have people get defensive immediately.
Such a great way to look at it, man. And it's the same way that my younger brother looks at it, and he loves you. Actually, he's listening right now. So hi, Josiah. But thank you so much for what you do. I just want to say for you, thank you so much for what you do for your community, because you're a bigger hero than you think you are.
Well,
Thank you so much, man. You if you could see me at 2 p.m. in my underwear, I bet you disagree, but I appreciate the compliment.
well, I'm just some tips here because I know you're working on the if at birth you don't succeed into some sort of writing some sort of television show or movie. You got to do like a gritty reboot, like all the comic books are doing now. Like maybe you also fight crime and keep asking where your son is.
You know, if I fought crime, I would be dead so fast.
Not with that attitude.
But I would be willing to just. I think that would be some great genre bending.
All right.
But yeah.
One last question for you, Zach, before we let you go. Next year's 2020. What are you most looking forward to in the next year? It could be 2020 pun related or otherwise.
What am I most looking forward to? I think I'm really enjoying the writing process of like getting more stuff out there, and in general about the world. I mean, if we still have a world in 2020, that's what. Like I feel like I figured this out in the like a couple weeks ago. I think I'm an optimistic pessimist in that I am excited still about the worst case scenario. So anything that happens, I'll be like golden with. And I guess anytime I get to meet more people, like I love that. So I love traveling. There's some cool like travel show type stuff on the horizon, and anytime that I can connect with people face to face is just like I love that. That's my sweet spot. So yeah, really pumped about doing some traveling and hopefully putting some good energy out into the world, because there's a lot of negativity out there.
And if you're ever in Orlando, we would love to take you out for dinner. We'll go to the Epcot Pavilion and everything.
Are you kidding? I will come to Orlando just for dinner.
Take you
all I need.
Take you to Epcot. I'll take you to the Olive Garden test kitchen.
We'll take you to the Olive
I was
Garden.
gonna say.
Yeah, that's true. We could. You want to go to the Olive Garden test?
Olive Garden test kitchen?
Yes,
Wait.
sir. There is.
Do we? What? How am I not on the front lines of this? All right. Well, as always, guys, let's not make it 3 years again. I love talking to you. This is a blast.
Absolutely. You're welcome on the show anytime. Thank
We'll
you so
see you
much for
next
being
week then.
Oh, yeah. Every day. Congratulations. You're the third mic.
All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow at 9.
Okay.
Tomorrow at 9 p.m. EST, I'll be back.
Zach Ainer is the YouTube channel. Anything else you want to plug?
Oh, just follow me on social media. The Twitter, it's Zach Anner with an H and 2 N's in Anner. Twitter, Instagram. I'm on all the stuff.
That's awesome.
If that's
MySpace.com/Zach Ainer.
Exactly.
Yep.
And please
that's about right.
Please keep making more workout Wednesdays.
Oh,
they are
dude,
literally my favorite thing.
You're so funny, man. I got to get those things. Kill
Every
me.
time you come out with a new one, we play it on our show the second it comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you were the fans that I was looking for. So now that I know that you're out there, I'll just start making them. Thanks so much.
Thank
guys.
you, Zach. Take it
you,
easy,
Zach.
buddy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Oh, man. He was, dude.
I love that guy. I love him so much.
Dude, he is a genuinely funny guy, too. On top of all that, like, he's a genuinely funny dude. That was great.
Great guy.
I don't know if we deserve people like Zach Ainer.
Hey, Mitch.
He's
Hey,
too good a person.
hey, Mitch. Thanks for asking questions, bud.
You guys had it handled.
I was going to say, you just sat back and with your weird lighting and everything, like you just...
With your
You
weird.
guys seem to do a good job.
We had plenty of questions.
No, that was great.
You know,
Zach's the man.